At AutoMasters LLC, our mission is to serve our community by providing quality automobiles at affordable prices. All of our vehicles are inspected and certified to offer you the confidence in knowing you have a quality vehicle. Our goal is to provide you with a seamless process and positive experience for your automobile purchase. Financing recommendations and specific vehicle inquiries are available at your request. You can find us at www.automasters06.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also, please feel free to contact Terrence Miles at 601-927-7794. And oh yeah, tell him Sonia sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia, and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome back Sportswriter with New Orleans Advocate, Rod Walker, and Alcorn Hall of Famer and Piney Woods Hall of Famer, Brian Wanky Adams. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
I feel
It's
bad.
been a
I'm not in the Hall
back.
of Fame. I'm not in the Hall of Fame, so I'm just regular.
Me either, Rod. Me either. It's okay. We're still loved. We're still important too.
He got to be in the Mississippi Sports Writers Hall of Fame soon.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since all of us have been together. What, a couple of years now? And it's Wanky's fault, but you know, we will we'll let you pass on that. Why it's been so long, Wank?
Man, I don't know. I don't think it's been 2 years, but
It has.
it's, oh wow.
2 years. It ain't been
He
2 years.
He didn't come on in 2023. It's been 2 years.
I don't know if it's been that long. You know,
Okay,
but
I mean it's my show. I do know. Okay, y'all can have it. So anyway, let's get into it. So, guys, as you know, the NBA Finals are starting on June 6th. I'm so excited. And the players in this on stage is the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. The Mavericks fought through 350-win teams while dealing with injuries, while Boston rolled through the depleted Eastern Conference rivals. So, guys, let's start with the Mavericks. The Mavericks have been prone with injuries, as I mentioned, but their star duo, Kyrie and Luka, has been just magical. Wanky, what are your thoughts on this duo, and what do they do to win the finals?
I just think their skill set is amazing. You know, Stan Van Gundy, he drools over those guys every game. Just talking about they're the greatest, backcourt duo in the history of basketball. But they have pieces that fit, their culture and things of that nature. Drafting Derek Lively, a rim run guy, catch lob, stuff like that. High energy guy, sort of like Tyson Chandler was for them. When they won with 2000, I think it's 2010, 2011. And but do I think they can win this series?
I said, what do you think they need to do to win the series?
Oh, they got to make shots. They got to make shots. The others, those corner shots, those lobs and stuff like that. I don't like talking down on players and stuff like that, but those guys is getting those open, clean looks. It can't be Harrison Barnes in 2016. It can't be that, or they're not gonna win.
Mm-hmm. So, Rod, same question. What are your thoughts on this duo, and what do they have to do to actually win this finals? Not just them, but the whole Mavs team.
Well, just starting with kind of piggybacking on what Wanky said. I think Lowry and Gafford, I think they'll get those lobs. I think PJ Washington's the key. I mean, he kind of struggled in the last series, but if he can knock some of those shots down, I think it definitely becomes a really good series. But I think the Mavericks, but they just want to kind of if they can hang around in games, I think they like Kyrie and Luka being able to close the game out. So they just got to kind of keep it close, and those guys are pretty deadly when it when it's crunch time. I mean, that's where they kind of play their best ball. And I think on the other side, I mean, I think you've seen Boston sometimes they just I don't know. I don't really. I know we're gonna probably get to this later, but I don't really trust Boston in some crunch situations sometimes.
Right.
But, yes, I think PJ Washington like a big factor in this series. I think everybody else is gonna probably be able to get theirs, but can he knock his shots down?
Yeah. So, head coach Jason Kidd, he was in this same situation 13 years ago when he was playing with the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat. And, there's 14 player coaches before him that has won in both positions. Do you think Jason is using some of the experience he had as a player to get them ready for this fight against the Celtics, Rod?
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Yeah, I mean, if you played in the league, you definitely. I think he's a player's coach. I mean, he knows what it's like to be in these kind of situations, and he knows how to motivate him. He knows what buttons to push, and the guys, I should believe in him. I mean, this is a team that finished 5th in the West. They weren't even, a lot of people. I don't think anybody. I didn't hear a lot of people picking the Mavericks to get this far.
I was one of them. That's my second team.
So, to see what they after they the trade and they got the pieces they got now. I mean, they play really well the second half of the season. The guys who typically weren't really known for their defense, like even Kyrie. I mean, he's playing better defensively now. So they're just clicking at the right time, and as a result, they're 4 wins away.
Yeah, like I told you, they went through 350 game winning teams, and then they were injury prone, and they're a little healthy now. So things are looking up for them.
I was actually scared of injuries during the last series because when Minnesota pushed it to us, game 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, man, they keep letting these dudes hang around. I was scared like Luka was gonna get hurt at some point. He got bad knees and bad ankles and everything. I was like, you got to go ahead and finish these dudes out while you can because they don't need to let these series go too long because of that.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
What about you, Wayne?
I think I mean, his expertise and his position of the game, just his knowledge of the game. Those guys gonna definitely be prepared to, execute, some of the things that he wants done and play hard. And, it has a little bit of the Mavericks team, that won the championship, so I don't think they have the shooting, outside of the stars, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, those guys, they can't afford to have bad games. And then, playing in Boston, that ain't, that ain't no walk in the park. It's brutal in Boston, so, we're going to see. And, I be joking with a lot of guys. One thing Dallas don't have, to all the LeBron fans, they don't have JJ Barrera in this series, to help take, take the other team down. So,
you done took me back.
Yeah. You had guys like Deshaun Stevenson and Sean Marion, Jason Terry. Those guys were shot makers, and they could defend.
Steve Nash.
Right. So was Nash? No. Nash, he wasn't on that team.
He went on 2011?
No, he was with Phoenix.
No, he was gone. You're right.
He was gone. So it's gonna be interesting, but it's gonna all boil down to the others, and I think that's what Boston have the advantage. That's what they had the advantage.
Right. And speaking of Boston, as you know, the Celtics are no stranger to the finals. They have 17 NBA championships, including 8 championships in a row at one point. And the last one they won was in 2008. And as a matter of fact, and I'm going to talk about that, I'll never forget that finals because it started June 5th, 2008, and that was a game against Los Angeles Lakers, the series rather. And my father, he was a Lakers fan, and I wasn't a Boston fan. They're Eastern, but KG was there. He had just came, and so I was a KG fan, so I went for them. So I called my dad a few hours before the game, a little verbal banter, old man, y'all losing, what's up? You want to bet me? And he was asleep. I didn't get a chance to talk to him. 3 hours later, 3 hours before the game, my father passed away.
Oh
So
wow.
the finals are really weird for me every year because it's either falls on his death date, which is today, June 5th, or the
Hmm.
4th, or the 6th. And I miss him so much because I want to talk to him all the time about, the finals. But, you know, I'm not trying to bring anybody down, but that's just
Right.
it's an odd place for me. I'm excited about the games, but I'm not because of that. But let's move on. Back to the Celtics. What are your thoughts on this team? And is this a championship year or bust for Boston, Wanky?
Like Rob
They
was
went they
saying,
went through everybody quick. I mean,
right.
so
Well, I was gonna say, like Rob was saying, about he don't really trust them in clutch situations. One of my real good friends said it best. He said they play with their food too much.
mm,
Now, granted, this is
that's
to
good.
me is championship or bust. If they don't win the championship this year, they got to split this team up because
Really?
it's too much.
Wow.
It's too much going. It's too much back and forth. Whose team is it? Is it Tatum's team? Is it Brown's team? Now, granted, I do think there's an X factor on that team.
And I was gonna ask you who were the
He,
X
he,
factors on both teams, but go ahead.
I'm gonna get to the X factor. So they have guys. They can throw Jason Tatum at Luka. They can throw Jaylen Brown at Luka. They can throw Drew Holiday at Luka. They have several guys that can, throw different bodies at him. And, they got guys that's bigger than Kyrie that they can throw at Kyrie. Al Horford is, he's still serviceable. But I really believe in the guy. I think he's been healthy. They didn't need him. So, of course, they're not going to report that to the masses. But
Mhm.
Kristaps Porzingis, if he's healthy, Dallas out of here in 5.
Wow.
Ooh, 5.
5
So, right.
out of here.
And don't give me
He
y'all. No,
he
don't give me that yet.
he the first unicorn, man. People forget about that man. Like he was the
Uh,
first Victor Wembanyama. He was
you
the
know what?
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
if he's healthy, yeah. Go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, go
No, I
ahead.
was
Go
gonna say that.
finish.
Yeah. I mean, if he's healthy, and like I said, I think he's been healthy. They just didn't need him. So it's gonna be hard to beat them with him. I'm sorry.
Mm, yikes. Right.
No, I agree. I was gonna say something about Porzingis too. I don't know if he'll
Uh-huh.
play game one, which will be probably before this airs, but um,
Yeah.
I kind of think Dallas needs to. If they do try to bring him back, I think Dallas needs to steal game one because you know
Period.
he hadn't played in 5 weeks, so I mean you hope he's a little rusty if you're Dallas, but yeah, I mean I think on paper, I think if you got Porzingis, I think Drew Holiday. I mean, you mentioned Drew. I mean, I got a chance to cover Drew when he was here in New Orleans. He played here. One of my
Yeah.
favorite players because he's such a good dude. But he's just so good on defense. He just comes up with plays. So um, I think between Drew, Derek White, and Porzingis again, like we haven't really seen him much in the playoffs since I can't remember if he played in the second round or not. Uh,
Mhm.
but the first round, I mean, he played a little bit in the
With
first
the
round.
Knicks, maybe with the Knicks. Well, oh
Maybe,
no,
yeah.
you talking about this year?
Yeah, from this year. Yeah, did
Yeah,
he
he's
play
talking
in the
about
Yeah.
first?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this final,
I'm
this
saying we
playoff.
haven't seen him in so long that people kind of not really
Right.
talking about it as much. But I mean, yeah, he's definitely a guy who can swing this series. He's gonna make it really, really tough for
Mhm.
Dallas. I think going back to Dallas, I think Luka and Kyrie gonna have a good game every game. They both probably got to give you 30, I think, every game, and then they got to
Right.
get that from the others. So,
Yeah.
and that still might not be enough with all that Boston
So,
had.
so Rod, who is the X factor for the Mavs? Y'all
For me,
already
it's,
gave the X factor for Boston. Who is the X
for me,
factor?
it's PJ Washington. I think he's the guy that got to. I mean, he gets a
Yeah.
lot of good open looks. He got to knock him down. He didn't really do that the last series, so if he can knock him down, it helps. Because I do think Lively and Gafford are gonna get. I just think the way they play, I mean, they're gonna get those lives and those open looks, and I think Kyrie and Luka are probably gonna get there. So to me, it's PJ. If he's making them, they're in good shape. If he's not, they're in trouble.
Right.
So, out of the two X factors, who will make the most impact from both each team? Who do you think? I kind of got to know
Porzingis.
what y'all gonna say. I know. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I would say Porzingis as well. I mean, the dude is
Yeah, that's true. So Kyrie is going back to Boston. How big of a sideshow do you think that'll be for him and the Mavericks? Because Boston, like you said, it's not a walk in the park when you play at the Gardens, and I mean not the Gardens, at the Celtics Stadium. I can't even think of the arena right now, but they are they can get violent sometimes. So, what are your thoughts on Kyrie's return to Boston, Rod?
for me. I mean, I think, and Kyrie he's matured so much since
He
those
really
days.
Yeah,
has.
there you go.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't even think it's going to be brought up, but if it had been brought up 3 or 4 years ago or whatever, I mean, it would have been a little different. But he's just in a different place now. So I don't think it's going to affect
Right.
him at all.
Boston
He's
Dallas has been really good for him. Go ahead.
he's like really locked in. So I don't think. Again, it's going to be talked about a little bit. They'll talk about him stomping on the logo, but Kyrie's going to kind of brush that off, I would imagine, and I don't think it's going to factor at all. I mean, Boston fans they're going to be on him, but
it's going to be brutal.
Yeah, but he'll be able to. I don't think it's going to affect him at all, and he's not going to he's at a place now where he's not going to be trying to talk back and respond to all that. I think he's pretty locked in.
Yeah, that's cool. Wank.
Like Rod just said, he's in a different space. He's matured. He's gonna let a lot of that stuff roll off the sleeve, but it's gonna be brutal. I know that it's gonna be brutal. I've never been to a Celtics game, but I've been to a Raiders game against the Patriots in Las Vegas, and
Oh yeah.
man, when they go on their run, I'm sure it's the same thing. Man, it's ridiculous. It's January 6th all over again.
You know what? Rod, you see how he tried to throw in the Raiders, and I'm glad he didn't pick up when you said the Pelicans, because you know how he feel about one of the players with the Pelicans. So I don't even want to say his name. Let's keep moving. Look like you know who I'm talking about. Zion.
You anti? We're not gonna do that. Okay.
You're right. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. So, guys, Wank, who wins it all, and in how many games?
If Porzingis is not healthy, we got a series. But if he's healthy,
you saying Dallas wins?
No. If Porzingis is healthy, Dallas is out of here in 5 games.
If he's not healthy, what happens?
It'll probably go 7, and then
Who wins?
Boston.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think, even if Porzingis is healthy, I can't see Dallas losing in 5. I don't think Kyrie and Luka will go down, and they're not gonna get the gentleman's sweep, man. I think the series goes at least 6. I think if it goes 7, that means Dallas is playing well. I think if it goes 7, I think Dallas will actually get them. If they can get it that far, that means they figured some stuff out, and they found out some answers. And I don't know if, again, I keep talking about the pressure, and I don't know if Tatum has been able to answer that bell yet. So because we talk about, you asked earlier about being bust, championship or bust. For Tatum, I mean, he got a lot riding on his shoulder this series. He's the one that he's got the most to prove. If Luka loses, we'll be like, okay, yeah, he'll be back. If Kyrie loses, he'll be back. He's done it before. Jaylen Brown is not really his team, but Jason Tatum, especially because he didn't play well when they played Golden State
in 2022.
Yeah, he didn't really play well. So I think for him, he has to play well. And if he's playing really well, I mean, they're gonna be hard to beat anyway. I mean, when he's rolling, he's something special. So anyway, by prediction, man, let me think.
You're the prediction guy. Rod is the one that he always puts it on his Facebook post, and we have to go in and give our predictions. So it's your turn in the hot seat.
On paper, I do think Boston. If I had to bet a whole lot of money, I would probably bet on Boston. I think that's the logical pick. I think they're better on paper. They got more depth and all that, but I'm just having a really hard time betting against what I saw out of Kyrie and Luka. And it does kind of remind me of 2011. So I'm gonna pick the Mavs in 7.
I got the Mavs in 7. The Mavs, 2006, that was supposed to be their championship. You know, stuff was going on with the coach and Mark Cuban, and I think that played a huge part of them losing. It was too many distractions with that. I was at that series. I was singing with the Mavs in 06 and 2011. I got faith in my Mavericks. They're going to win in 7. It's going to be close, but they're going to win in 7.
I'm such a Kyrie fan. Like, I really like Kyrie. I just like the way he plays.
Yeah. He's amazing.
I'm going to ride with him.
I'm going to ride with him. I'm riding with my Mavs. So, guys, we're going to switch over to the WNBA. Rod, I can't believe this. This is like the third show in my last 4 shows that I have talked about the WNBA. And you were one of those shows. That's something I have not really ever done. And I'm excited about it. I love it because they are getting so much recognition right now, as they should. You know, as we know, the other day, Monica McNutt was on First Take with Stephen A. Smith, and they were talking about the WNBA, and she left him speechless, which is kind of hard to do with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen said that he and First Take have covered the WNBA more than anyone, and McNutt rebutted respectfully. He could have given more attention to the WNBA 3 years ago. And he was flabbergasted. All he said was, wow. Because, I mean, he didn't know what to say behind that. So, of course, Stephen was offended. He comes back when he gets his voice back. Can I get you to stop yawning? Am I boring you? So, Stephen comes back and rebuttals and say, you know, but what he really was saying was he has given a lot of the women a platform on First Take. But she was talking about the WNBA. So I'm going to start with you, Wank, because you, along with legendary NBA player Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, you all have been huge advocates of women basketball. What are your thoughts on what happened on Monday and just all the attention that the WNBA is getting right now?
Well, I mean, appreciate that, but you know, me, Mahmoud, Donald Driver, you know, along with some other guys that, you know, helped me try to move the needle with women's basketball. Like, we've been advocates of the game, you know. I wish that, you know, we would have got, you know, a little bit more support, but maybe, you know, some things that we did was kind of ahead of its time. You know, there's a lot of pro women's combines out here, but we call it, you know, Donald Driver and I came up with the name, the Driven Elite Pro Day. Like, that probably was the only pro day in the history of civilization for women's basketball, you know, but, you know, now I look at it, it's like, yeah, it was ahead of its time. And then, you know, now guys that wouldn't even want to train girls and, you know, stuff like that. Now everybody want to jump on the bandwagon because there's money involved. Kids getting NILs and they're getting sponsorships, this, that, and the other. So now you got these vultures coming out of nowhere, you know, want to train these young ladies and be around them and stuff like that. But, you know, like I say, I've been in love with the women's game. You know, our daughters played and stuff like that, you know. So, I mean, what she said was, it was cool. You know, he just was caught off guard. He wasn't expecting it. And as big as his platform is, you know, of course, he should have been talking about women's basketball.
That's true. Rod, your thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I think he could have been talking about women's basketball, but I also think 3 years ago, like, it just wasn't moving the needle like it is now. So he could have talked about it, but I don't know if Stephen A. had talked about women's basketball 3 years ago, I don't know if people would have been like, "Oh, let me watch it because he's talking about it." It would be like, let's say some, I use pickleball just because that's kind of the new thing that people are
Yeah,
playing.
I'm like, I never heard of it till Jamie Foxx, got the
It would be
women.
like somebody playing some phenom in pickleball came along this year, and people like, hey, why you ain't talking about pickleball back in 2024? Well, because nobody was. So, I mean, I think what they've done, there's a reason to talk about it now. I mean, he could have talked about. I don't know how much he talked about it, so I'm not going to even.
Right.
Right.
He may, if he had talked about it 3 times and nobody else had talked about it at all, then he did
Yeah.
talk about it more than anybody
Yeah.
else. I mean, his
Right.
statement was actually true. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the interest wasn't there, and that's what I mean. You watch First Take, and they talk about what people like to talk about. So they always talking about LeBron. They always talking about the Lakers. They always talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So I mean, they're talking about the same stuff that people are talking about. So that's what Stephen A. is doing now. So I know she clapped back at him, but to me, I just feel like he's talking about what people are talking about now. But yeah, he could have talked about it more then. If he'd have been talking about it, like, would people have been even paying attention?
Well, like you said, he talks about what people are talking about, and they are talking about the WNBA now. So they are definitely, he's talking about it. I'm like you, and like I told Wanky earlier, we were talking about this situation, and because they have done so much, like he said, with women's basketball, and I told her it just wasn't time. And sometimes it's just not time. It's not that people don't agree with what you're doing or see the vision, but it just wasn't time. And that's
Right.
why, I think you need to really think about doing this again. It's time now. No, I'm
Yeah.
serious. It's time because
Yeah.
I've been to the things that you have done, and it's really, really good what you guys are doing. So you know what to do. But listen,
When I was, I'm kind of sorry, buddy, but
good, but
like when I was working at the Clarion Ledger in Jackson, when I first started, it was me and Todd Kelly and Bill Spencer. It was the 3 of us covering high school sports, and Todd and Bill, they didn't want to cover nothing but Piney Woods
Right.
provided. So I was doing the girls. So the girls basketball kind of became
Yeah.
my baby. Like and I
mm,
gave, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I tried to give them as much exposure as they could get because
Right.
they were just always kind of on the back burner. So, I kind of
Mm-hmm.
we try to give them just as much coverage as we gave the boys. And
Right.
I think the girls in Mississippi, I think they appreciated it. And so now we're kind of
Mm-hmm.
saying the same thing. I mean, like more people are like just kind of starting to, give them their ink, so and their TV time.
exactly. And like I mentioned to Rod a few weeks ago, and I was we know if Kobe was here, because this would have been Gigi's first year at UConn, it would have definitely been, the needle would have been moving fast
Right.
too, because he is Kobe Bryant, and he gonna make sure his baby girl and the rest of the girls, he started investing in those young ladies. So it was important to him to make something happen. So thankfully something is finally happening. They can
If
say
Gigi had, go
Hmm?
ahead. No,
Go
I just
ahead.
said if Gigi was still around and playing, like, yeah, it would have been some crazy ratings.
It'd have been
Yeah. It's been
crazy.
crazy.
I don't know how good she would have
Yeah.
been. I assume she would have been really good, but yeah, people would have been tuning in. It would have
Right.
some records.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I lost my thought. It'll probably come back.
Okay.
But yeah, I know that's okay. I totally agree. And they can, they can say what they want to say about Caitlin Clark, but if it was not for Caitlin Clark, I mean, and don't get me wrong, my baby girl Angel Reese is a part of this movement as well. But if it was not for Caitlin, they would not be on those charter planes, them jets. They would not. You think I'm playing, and you know it.
Look,
None of this
they
would
be
be
riding with
happening.
us.
Yeah, they
Right.
be riding on Southwest with us. I sit next
Yeah.
to me. Somebody, you want your peanuts? So
Yeah.
let's, give her props. But as long as she don't start buying into what media is saying and what they're doing, trying to make her this great white hope, I think she will be okay. And they have to remember, okay, that was a cheap shot old girl did on her the other day. But Caitlin mouth she got a mouth on her, and she be knocking people down too. So let's remember, she does it as well. Don't just put it like she's this damsel in distress, because she's not. You're in the pros now, baby. Get ready and get used to it. You're a rookie. let's get it together. So that's all I got to say. So guys, thank you so much. Look, like I said, so thank you so much for joining the show today. But before we go, Wanky, you ain't been on here. We got a new game. It's called.
Wanky, you ain't gonna like this game, man.
Oh.
You're not gonna like this game. I'm telling you.
Yes, he is.
All right.
This game is called What You Know, and we're gonna talk about NBA Finals trivia.
Okay.
So Wank may do pretty good on this. I
He
think
probably would, man. Yeah.
he may. He may.
He had me on at a WNBA trivia. What was the other one that we did?
Oh, the first one we did football trivia.
I did good on football trivia.
Oh, you got every one of them right. He got all 10 right.
The WNBA, I was
Okay.
And Rod, I love your shirt, your Negro League shirt. So dope. So dope. Which two teams played in the NBA Finals in 2011? I'm gonna start y'all off easy.
Miami and Dallas. Miami and Dallas?
No, I didn't know who was like taking turns or we blurting it out or what.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wanky, go ahead.
Miami and Dallas?
Correct.
That's the one. I would have got that one right.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna say I'm not good. I'm not gonna be good at this because like from about 2000 to 2010, like I get them years kind of mixed up. But go ahead, just go ahead.
Well, some of this is in the 90s, like this one. In the 1996 NBA Western semifinals between Seattle Supersonics and Houston Rockets, the Sonics set a new NBA record for the most three-pointers in a playoff game. How many did they make? In 1996, that was your year, Wanky.
23.
What? You was close, 20.
Okay.
I thought you was about to say 20. I was like, oh my gosh.
I wouldn't even
20.
In '96. I wouldn't even get. I wouldn't have thought it'd have been that high. So that's good, man.
Yeah, the Sonics crushed the Rockets, making 23 pointers, and then won the series 4-0. They swept them.
Who was making
them?
I'm trying to think who was making the threes for the Sonics.
Probably
Gary Payton?
No, you had Hershey Hawkins, Deadlift Shrimp,
okay,
yeah.
Payton, Gary Payton.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Payton was on there. I know. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Okay. What New York Knicks guard went 0-11 for three-point range during Game 7 of the 1994 NBA Finals against the Rockets?
I can do this.
Greatly contributed to a Knicks loss. What?
John Starks.
That's it.
Now I do remember that game. I don't really remember that song. But yeah, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, John Starks.
So we're gonna tag team in Wanky. If I think I know it, as long as both of us don't, both of us.
All right.
So if somebody know it, then y'all win together. Okay.
All right.
What All-Star from the Cavaliers suffered a knee injury late in Game 1 of the 2015 NBA Finals that caused him to miss the rest of the series?
Kyrie Irving.
Correct.
Cleveland would have won that series if Kyrie was playing.
Yep.
What you think, Wayne?
They should have won without her, according to these folks. Go.
Whatever.
If
whatever.
If he the GOAT, take us home.
Which NBA player was the first winner of the NBA Finals MVP despite being on the losing team?
Jerry West.
Jerry West, yeah.
Yo, I love it. I was like, they should get it. Who was named Finals MVP in the 2011 NFL or NBA Finals?
Dirk,
yes. Who was the first team to win 3 consecutive NBA titles?
the Boston Celtics, the Minneapolis Lakers.
Did you say Minneapolis Lakers?
Yeah.
It's the Lakers, yeah.
I would have thought it was
From 49 to 52.
Yeah, okay.
Who is known as the world's greatest clutch player in basketball for his numerous shots and high-flying moves to win games. He eliminated the Cleveland Cavaliers twice from the NBA playoffs due to last-second shots and won his last NBA championship with a steal and a shot.
I ain't gonna even ask.
Come on, man.
Man.
Come on,
My baby. Come on, say his name, somebody.
I'm gonna say Scottie Pippen or John Paxson.
Yeah.
We know this. We know.
Michael,
We just not saying his name.
got doggone Jordan. Last but not least, which player left the Bulls prior to Games 4 of the 1998 NBA Finals to wrestle Hulk Hogan?
Dennis Rodman.
Correct. Y'all did really well. Y'all did
Yeah.
really good.
I wouldn't have got the Minneapolis Lakers. I wouldn't have got that one.
Yeah, that one. And
I would have thought it was a
well, no,
7.
yeah, and you know, the two that you would say for those is Celtics or the Lakers.
Right.
I mean, they done won like 1,000 titles.
Yeah.
Between each of them. Guys, thank you so much for joining the show today. Please tell the listeners how they can follow you, Rod, on social media, as well as read your articles.
I guess I gotta say X now instead of Twitter, but it's Rod Walker Nola. Rod Walker Nola, and my articles on NOLA.com, and Instagram is, I think it's R Walker 1906. I can never remember if it's Rod Walker or R Walker.
R Walker 1906.
Yeah.
And Wank, go ahead. Wank.
It's Baba Inc. on Instagram. It's a private page, so I might accept you. I might not.
Can you tell the kids now? Is that BABA?
Yeah.
Okay.
INC 23.
And that's Instagram. Baba Inc. 23 at Instagram as well. Okay.
Yeah.
It always confuses me too because I got a friend. His name is what they call him Bebe, and he's spells. So whenever a story or something scroll across, I had to like think which one of y'all it is.
Right.
This basketball, I know it's you, but
yeah.
And guys, you can follow me on Facebook at She Say Sports, on Instagram at She Say Sports 23, and please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Wait a minute, before we go, people have been asking about Legends of the Sip, and I try not to do it because Wanky, I want him to be a part of it. So are we back? What we doing, y'all? What we doing?
We can get some more episodes going.
Let's do maybe 2 or 3 this summer. How can we do that?
Okay.
I know Rob, I'm trying to, we have to get them before the Saints start, doing their thing, but let's work on that because a lot of people really enjoy. I love doing those shows. Those were great.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonia with She Say Sports.